I've been trying to wait for a time today to have everybody here. Unfortunately, it's not quite gone to plan because we're only meant to run to 1 with the ceremony kind of being at 3 o'clock an hour ago, but then masses and masses and masses of people turned up and we turned them away and told them to come back later on. So we've now been carrying those passengers, people still coming back because we said we're running to 6 o'clock, and that's fine. We're going to make sure we carry as many people as we can. Unfortunately, some family and friends who came earlier weren't able to stay, so they've missed it, and others who are saying they're coming back aren't back yet. So this is the best time. I think we've got the most people here possible. My family and friends know that I blab on with speeches and I never write anything down because I just make stuff up, but today I can't make anything up because it's real. It's 85 years of family tradition, and the support today, this weekend, has been phenomenal. It really has, but we haven't had it over the last years. We haven't had the help. We haven't had the people. And that is why the railway is closing. And I will not have anybody tell me we have not tried. Because we're here. We've always been here. The railway has never stopped running. Our team have been amazing. And, 10 years ago, the railway was carrying between 13,000 and 14,000 people, which was a great number. In fact, that was manageable, that was workable, something that the railway could continue on. And sadly, the council took the bold decision to relocate the play park, which I objected to. More than 10, 15, 20 times they didn't listen at all. And I could see what was going to happen. But sadly, councils do what they do. They crack on, and the decision was made. The play park moved. And they promised me right from the off that if anything was to change, they would support me in that, and that was going to be in the form of an extension. 9 years we tried to build that extension to keep this railway going. Hurdle after hurdle we tried to jump, with all my friends and family trying to help along the way. But they weren't interested. And the problem is, it's not that the people are interested, but when you're not under people's nose, when you're not in front of them, it's very difficult to try and express the feelings and showcase the railway when it's so far away from what it used to be. And people come and they say, oh, the railway's moved, you've moved it so far away. And we haven't. The railway has never moved. For 85 years, it's always been here. It's the dynamics in the park that have sadly changed. And it's obviously in the last 5 years since that park was moved that the numbers have really started to dwindle, so much so that last year we only carried 3,500 people, which for 97 days of being open, it's not worth it. It's really not. And it pains me to say this, and before anybody says or starts thinking, it isn't changing my mind at all, but sadly we carried 1,200 people yesterday, which is a third of what we carried in the whole of last year. And to me, that's amazing, but it's actually really sad, because it shows the people are here. They always have been here. They just haven't come when we needed them. We needed your support, and I did say to people that the railway would close and this would happen. And I think people didn't believe me. I think they thought that it would just go on for, it'll always be here next year. Oh, don't worry, we'll not go today. Arbroath's got a population of nearly 30,000 people, and we can only carry 3,500 of them in a year. And you just think, what have we done wrong? What can I do? We put out our signs, we publicise on Facebook, we have our friends and family shouting about coming to the railway. And the problem is, if you do any more than that, it's making it something that it isn't. This is not a business, this is a labour of love, this is a hobby, a tradition. And the problem is that not just for myself, but our family and friends, this has become a chore. It's not a choice that we had anymore. It's a decision that has almost been made for me. I just unfortunately had to be the one to make the call and say the things, do the deeds, so to speak. And COVID, actually, before any of you think about anything, didn't have any part to play in this, fortunately. I took the decision in March of this year that the railway was going to close. Unfortunately, March was right at the time where the lockdown came in. We weren't then able to open the railway. As time went on, I thought, what am I going to do? Because emotionally, I just couldn't do it for another year. And I'll be honest with you, if the railway wasn't closing, we wouldn't have bothered opening at all this year. You know, we would have just waited till next year. But the decision was made, and I just had to give a chance for people to come and say their goodbyes. I couldn't do it to anybody because I knew we would have the support if we put the word out there. So we opened at the start of August, and the numbers we've carried are just incredible, and it is amazing what happens when you say something's closing. And I think most of you here today should say we should close every year, and maybe that would change things, but obviously we can't do that. So here we are, 85 years, and 3 generations. It's simply amazing. Quite frankly, I don't think anybody starting out in a business would expect it to go on for 85 years, to pass through all the generations. And the most amazing thing, which probably most of you don't know, is that, you know, my grandfather died in 1979. I never met the man. I was born in 1995, so the fact that the tradition can continue when somebody's not even there, it just shows the connection that must have been there. It was so strong. My father, Matthew Kerr Jr., who's got the tree here and the bench there, and the street named after him, and the plaque at the station, and the sign at his old school, who was loved by everybody. He made the railway, he gave the railway the rebirth that it needed through the 70s, 80s and the 90s. And sadly in 2006, when I was 10, he was taken from us, and you know, we were faced with a very difficult decision. Our mum was. But I'm thankful to her that she decided for me to keep the railway going. So if anything, we have 14 years we may not have had. Whatever anybody who's listening to this or watch this anywhere, we have to look at that as a bonus. 14 years that we may not have had, and think of 14 years. That's time for a child to grow up. We've had that time to give somebody that memory, those memories, create those, and one of those children were me. You know, I grew up in this place. If any of you watch the STV, there's a picture of me 4 days old sitting on Firefly, and I've been down here every day, really, for, you know, my whole life. It is my life, and I don't know what we're going to do, but things cannot go on, and this is the final day of the railway. I think we're over 1,000 again today, which is amazing. In fact, I think we're on 1,300 today, so if we can top 2,500 people over the last couple of days, we will still be running till 6 o'clock today. So please tell your family and friends that we'll still be running till then. I've been asked when is the official last train. Well, there isn't one. We don't run to a timetable, and unlike the main line, even though they don't really run to one. Anyway, so we'll just keep going until we feel like we've had enough, and then that will be that. We will be announcing when I've had the time to make some decisions as to what's going to happen with everything. I'm not making any rash decisions, because if I do that, I could live to regret them for the rest of my life. So I'm going to take my time, and I would appreciate, again, if anybody's watching this, please stop asking me to buy anything. Please stop asking, you know, can we do this, can we do that, can we just give me some time, give our family and friends time, because I have had hundreds of emails of people asking to buy things, and it doesn't help, because I've said from the offset, we're not selling anything. 85 years of building up this collection can't be just separated and thrown away just like that, and I wouldn't do that, because it's actually not my choice to give these things away, because it wasn't me who collected them, it was my family. So it will remain as the Kerr's Miniature Railway collection, and whatever happens, it will stay as one, and we will make sure it's still showcased and understood for what it should be and deserves to be. But as of running within Westlinks Park, this is the end. This is the buffer stop, the end of the line. Get all the puns out there, all you want. The papers love them. I'm sick fed up with doing articles for the paper. We've had them all down today. BBC, STV, Telegraph, paper day, whatever. So if you're watching this, copy and paste it, plagiarise it as much as you want, because it's all there. But we've had fun, you know. And we've got the memories, and the amount of cameras and smiles today and yesterday is amazing. It's just, quite frankly, I mean, when I walked up at about 11 o'clock earlier on, I did Facebook Live, it was like ants coming towards, you know, drawn into this magnet, you know, and I have never, ever in my time seen the Westlinks quite like it. So I think that's got to be something that, you know, the people have come out when they needed to at the end, and we have certainly given the railway the send-off that it deserves. So I'll stop rambling on for now, because I think we've got to ride some trains now, and make sure. I'm not going to cut the cake, I'm going to leave it there. If you want to come and take photos, that's fine. We'll maybe do some cutting later on, we can have some bits. But I'd appreciate it if anybody who's been invited here, family and friends, if you go and fill up the train just now. If it's okay, Tom, I'm going to drive this one, and we'll have a bit of fun. Members of the public, if you can hear this, we are going to get as much of you on as possible, but obviously it was intended to be a private event, so we're going to do as much as we can to make sure people get their rights. But I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming here and supporting us. I'm not going to name everybody, because there are so many of you who've travelled hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles to be here, breaking all the regulations and rules, but it had to be done. It had to be done. So thank you, and farewell. The grand finale, 1935 to 2020, Kerr's Miniature Railway. Thank you.
I'll jump on this little path.
Can you see it? No, Elliot, don't jump up there. Here it comes. Yeah? Well.